Thank you, Martin, and good morning, everybody. It's certainly a pleasure to have so many people present to discuss today's forum around livestock breeding and the genetics forum. I'm just going to give a brief overview on why we set up the consortia around genetics as an industry. And if I may just have the slide with the members of the task force around that consortia. So MLA decided to set up the consortia to build a funnel in which all work, R&D work in Australia comes across one table. And you as an industry, with the task force members up there from science and early adopters, come together at that table and they provide the strategic direction of which Michael Crowley will go through in more detail after I finish. And he'll talk about what is the direction of the consortia and what the task force members are telling us at MLA they want to see from the future genetics portfolio in Australia. And that's your challenge here today, is to participate in that vision for our industry around this very, very important topic. So it is pleasing to see that, as Martin said, we started off thinking, well, let's get 50 or 100 people together and talk about where we're up to with our investment through that consortia so far at $80-odd million. Where are we up to, what are we investing in, and what should we invest in the future? And that's why you're here, and that's why it's extremely pleasing to see so many commercial producers in the room and so many people from across industry. And I make mention that even elders with their strong representation here today from the stud stock industry, touching so many commercial producers around this very important subject of genetics and genetic evaluation, database management, the management of data, analytics and so forth, because it truly is one of the frontiers that is going to come our way as an industry, and if we manage it properly, it will lead to greater efficiencies, productivity and importantly profitability for our red meat sector. Just on a couple of updates on a few things around our industry, obviously pertinent to what we're discussing here today, and that is the claim from Brand Haven on the bovine genetic work and the methodology around some of that work. As you know, and you may have read in the papers, that we as an industry, through your levies, have spent close to $1.2 million defending that patent claim against all genetic work on the bovine. Where we're up to with that now is that fundamentally the judge made a statement that if Brand Haven narrowed that claim to be more specific, that patent would be granted to them. So if we were doing work around certain parts of industry, like work on a 50,000 snip chip, we as an industry would be paying a licence fee to Brand Haven. One of the great things about that is that Brand Haven's partner is Cargill's, and Cargill's are not supporting the patent claim, which also gives Cargill's the opportunity not to support the redefinition and the narrowing of that claim with Brand Haven. So again, we've done it through the media, and I'm going to use the opportunity again today to call out to Cargill's to please ensure that you do not support Brand Haven in their claim to narrow that methodology, so that we as an industry have to pay for work that we do around genetics moving forward. The other one that I'd like to announce today is too that we've been working with ABRI around protecting and working obviously around breed plan and protecting the single source of truth for the breeding value and analytics, and the development then of a non-exclusive performance-based licence. And that is one licence for the analytical software around breed plan. But fundamentally what this is about is creating opportunities for the future commercial delivery models of breeding values. And to this point, it's something that we've been working on for quite some time with ABRI, and I thank ABRI for their constructive nature in which they've been involved with us in those negotiations around addressing and opening up our industry to innovation around how analytics may be delivered in the future. And we are very, very close to signing off those documents and those agreements. And to continue on the theme of some things that I've said in the press that obviously relate to our industry around the work that we do in genetics, and that is that I honestly believe, and it is my opinion, that we should have one research organisation for sheep in Australia. It is truly disheartening at times to see the lack of investment perhaps in sheep CRCs and sheep genetics and MLA being the sole provider through that process. If we're going to move forward in the sheep industry to dual purpose sheep, meat sheep, wool sheep, I don't really care whether it's MLA that is doing it in the future, but we need, under the same basis of which we are sitting here today talking about a consortium around genetics, to adopt the same model and ideology around how we go forward with sheep R&D in this country. And the last one is around something that we will talk about today, and that's the multi-breed index, or a single species genetics and analysis going forward for both probably sheep, for beef certainly in the first instance, and perhaps sheep in the future. I know there's many people on the task force up there who I won't name, like Tom Gubbins, that want me to put a date on when we will deliver a single species index for the beef industry. Maybe that's what you'll come up with today, and that's what you'll tell us at MLA that you want it delivered by in a time frame, if that's what you want as an industry. So welcome, thank you very much for attending and making the effort to attend. It's now my pleasure to introduce Michael Crowley, the General Manager and a Consortium Task Force member. He's our General Manager of Production, Adoption and Communication. Consultation, actually. Thank you, Michael.
Thanks, Richard.